Lard Friese is with us, the CEO of Aegon. Lard, good to see you once again. Thanks for joining us. So just tell us a little bit more about the trading update and how you see current business.
Yes, good morning, and thanks for having me on the show again. We're off to a good start of the year with commercial momentum strong, as you said, in the United States, where we have an uptick of more than 20% in life insurance sales, but also in the retirement plan business has been doing very well. Also good commercial momentum in the workplace solutions business in the UK and in Brazil and China. We saw a little bit of softness as well in the asset management business, which is still affected by the volatile financial markets. And the same goes for the retail platform in the UK, where also the investor sentiment, of course, was quite cautious given the macroeconomic backdrop. But overall, I would say a good commercial momentum, very strong capital positions, the operating capital generation for the quarter up 5% over the similar quarter next year. So I would say steady so she goes.
I'll leave a lot of the other issues on the table for my colleagues here because I'm fascinated about what you're seeing in China and Brazil for that matter here, given that we are still, I think, trying to figure out how strong this rebound is in the People's Republic and also what the resilience of emerging economies is to rising interest rate pressures and inflation. So just paint a picture for us. How strong is this pickup in sales in China?
Well, in China, we've seen, let's say, during the COVID period, obviously, a lot of slowdown of economic activity. And that was, in those periods, was quite visible, actually, in the commercial activity that also we had and the results that we could report every quarter. But since we saw the opening of the Chinese market again, post the reopening after COVID, if you will, economic activity has picked up. We've also seen regulatory changes that happened in 21 and 22, which are now being absorbed by the market. And as a result, we're seeing demand for our kind of insurance products pick up. And our sales efforts and channels have been delivering for the first time since quite a while, good and solid growth in the first quarter of this year. When we look at Brazil, our Brazilian business has been resilient also throughout the last couple of years and has been growing actually for the past 12 years consistently year after year. Is a strong franchise that continues to build out its distribution potential, and as a result, we're seeing that business continuing its growth path.
Lard, I want to get into the market volatility. This is in the release, and you talk about the capital position, that you've got a strong balance sheet, about 1.4 billion euros in cash here. Also talking about the capital positions of a lot of the main units, and the approach seems somewhat conservative. Just give us a sense how your strategy has changed as that market volatility has ticked up.
Well, one of the key strategic focus areas for us in the last couple of years when I took over in 2020 was to reduce the risk profile of the company. And I think we've worked hard in order to do that, in order to make our cash flows emerge more predictable and in order to provide a more stable path for earnings growth. And against a volatile financial market backdrop, our progress has been tested, obviously, last year and also this quarter. And what we continue to show is strong capital ratios with good cash flows coming through. So I would say that a lot of the work that we have done, which indeed has put the company on a more cautious path, if you will, from an investment book perspective and other risk areas that we de-risked a lot, we're seeing more predictability in our cash flows. And I think that is very comforting for our customers and good for investors.
Lard, really good to see you today, sir. Why are your shares so badly performing compared with the main rivals such as AXA and Allianz as well? Down 12.6% year to date. Allianz is up 4%. AXA is up around about 6%. There's quite a significant underperformance. What's going on, sir?
Well, I think we're predominantly a life insurance or retirement company, so I think the comparables need to be done vis-a-vis the peers in that area. But I would not, I'm not commenting on the stock price development. It's something that the market needs to do, and we are running the business. We have set course a couple of years ago. We have fundamentally focused our company to those markets that we believe are going to matter longer term for us, and we are consistently implementing our strategy. So far, we've been able to meet a lot of the objectives that we have set ourselves out at the 2020 Capital Markets Day earlier than scheduled. We have raised our guidance a number of times, and we will just continue to progress. As I said earlier, steady as she goes, and that's how we approach it.
Lard, you are certainly in the business of managing risk, and at this point investors have so many different complex items on the table: geopolitics still, the macroeconomic environment, debt ceiling at this point. What are you most concerned about as you look at the risk on the horizon?
Well, what we've seen is inflation, obviously, as the main theme, and interest rates as a derivative of that, has been the main theme of debate over the last period, so that will continue to be the debate for quite a while to come. We see headline inflation tapering off a bit, mainly due to the energy prices that are coming down, but core inflation is very sticky. And quite frankly, I don't see a catalyst why that would change in the short term, so we remain quite cautious. Interest rates have come up, which is good for life insurance companies in general and good for Aegon, as the attractiveness of our products will increase with higher rates, and as guarantees that are embedded in the back book of the portfolio are weighing less on the balance sheet with higher rates. So that is something that is a good dynamic for life insurance companies. But at the same time, it is, of course, a very complicated dynamic for the families and households that we serve. This inflationary environment. So what we do is we spend a lot of time to making sure that we offer clients ways and means to navigate through this uncertain situation in the macroeconomic environment and to help them in this difficult period. But I would say the main themes are inflation, interest rates, and of course there is the geopolitical tensions that we've been seeing and a horrible war, obviously, in our backyard here in Europe, which is awful, and the debt ceiling discussions in the U.S., which we've now seen, I think, for 78 times. So let's see how the political parties are dealing with that.
Really good to see you, and thank you for taking all our questions. We do appreciate it, so on a busy day for you. Lard Friese, who is the CEO of Aegon.